Yesterday, I lost a country. I was in a hurry. Didn't notice when it fell from me, like a broken branch from a forgetful tree. Please, if anyone passes by or stumbles across my home, I was born and raised in is Beijing. I grew up in public housing, and I always wanted to see what's beyond the ocean, beyond my tiny apartment. Going to college and studied abroad was a dream. I was the oldest, so my parents expect me to bring home money after graduating. But in the fall of 2015, as I began my last year of school, I sensed something was wrong. But until that point, I had enjoyed my life on campus. But in those days, when I slogged from one academic building to the next, as my professor's voices came out like a cacophony piercing sounds, the anxiety attacks took me by surprise. Please, if anyone stumbles across it, perhaps in a suitcase open to the sky, or wrapped in the blankets of immigrants, or the recent move around the centers to pick up migrant Venezuelans in Texas and fly them to Macedonia got enormous media attention, which he intended. However, in the crossfires, what gets ignored in the national debate about immigration policy is the plight of migrant children who come to the United States and want to go to school. Legally, they are allowed to attend public school, though they face numerous hurdles before they can sit in the classroom or after they enroll. I have spent 8 years studying in the United States away from my home in Beijing. Over time, the heavy reading load in the second language, the strain that distance put me in a relationship with people in Beijing, and the isolation began to add up. In seminar debate, my sentence came out like fragments. Sorry, let me focus. Migrant students, in pursuit of their own American dream, have simply no place in the US education system. The turbulent international stage of immigration policy has trickled down to the most vulnerable population caught in the crossfires, the international immigrant students. The dream we've been promised, it's yet to present itself. So I beg the question, why does this exemplary education system still leave international students feeling lonely, anxious, and devoid of belonging? Simply viewing international students as pilgrims in unwanted territory. So, through prose from student brands, poetry, I Was in a Hurry by Diane Francis, an article from Washington Post, a program. Because my existence and excellence in academic space should never feel like an intrusion. Yesterday, I lost me, my country. I was in a hurry. I didn't notice. Perhaps my countries are engraved on a rock like the gaping wound, or cancelled like a losing lottery ticket, or rushing forward without a goal like the questions of children. Newcomers arrive daily and immediately rely upon school to support them. It's everything, from getting them enrolled to getting them closest. The education and immigration system make it hard for this youth to access resources, a basic educational right they have. There are resources in this country, but they are not well coordinated. I recall some of my first experience upon arriving here. First, I mispronounced a teacher's last name when I tried to verify if I had found the right classroom. And in the same US history class, when I knew the answer to the questions, I raised my hand and stood up from my seat to speak, which is so normal in an Asian classroom. Sit down. We don't do that. Here, we have room but for one flag, the American flag. We have room but for one language here, and that is the English language. We have room but for one soil loyalty, and that is the loyalty to American people.
Faculty members, a small group of students are speaking Chinese very loudly. I am disappointed that this group of students are being so impolite as they are having a conversation like that I can't understand.
Suddenly, all those missed classes, complaints of insomnia, lengthy Facebook posts started making sense. My anxiety was a direct reaction from what felt like a loss of who I was, inherently tied to my Chinese identity. So, if you stumble across it, return to me, please. I didn't notice. Perhaps it's or rolling on the helmet on the sand, or the squish in my uniform are scattered in the mind of women who try to smile. Once in school, unaccompanied youth navigate other constraints, such as a lack of quality and culture-sustaining curriculum, and a lack of social workers and counselors that reflects newcomers' culture. These constraints can contribute to a lack of belonging and positive sense of self. How can I convey my touch of my thoughts and moods in a foreign language when the language barrier is the cause of my stress in the first place? How do I communicate my nostalgia for mouth-watering homemade Chinese dishes when the sympathetic therapist tells me homemade, it's Panda Express? I lost myself. My country, return to me, please. Perhaps it's helplessness forgotten in the pageantry. I finally realized that I can't escape anywhere. When I was overwhelmed again and again, I was dazed in my little room with tears coming down relentlessly. At this moment, I feel like I've lost a part of myself. I lost myself. My country, return to me, please. Perhaps it's helplessness scattered like the dream of new immigrant students in America. It's been years since I last traveled in China, and memory has grown hazy. Her culture, her spirit, and the person I used to be while growing up there. But where has the lost part of me vanished to? Where do I truly belong? It seems my once grand American dream has crumbled alongside my overwhelming anxiety, loneliness, fatigue, and helplessness. I just want to go home.
Assimilate or leave. It's not like we need you here. I believe
I shouldn't have gone about it this way. I shouldn't have achieved success by changing who I am. I shouldn't have sacrificed myself, my culture, my spirit just to assimilate. In this land of freedom and brightness, everything that should have been inherently mine, I should have been able to freely dream my own dreams. Rather than give undue attention to the politics and spectacles of flying immigrants like Mathamvayan's incident, any policy to improve newcomers must adjust before and after migrating to the United States. So let's not pretend they're not here, but welcome and value them. Finally, there, my country